Yeah, that does look pretty tasty. Am I missing a step? With summer temperatures reaching some serious highs, the Precure decide to hit the beach to cool off. And as always, they bring along their silly little bakery and open it up right on the beach. Yeah, normally I'd say that's all kinds of illegal, but really, who's keeping track at this point? And besides, it's not as though they're doing anything really out there, like setting it up out on the ocean. What? Okay, I'm willing to suspend my disbelief over how that thing can actually float, inner tube made from Kirakira and all that. But really, nobody was barred by the floating building near the shore? Nobody called the cops to report how that thing's a major safety hazard? You know, I'm starting to think this show is a little crazy. Well, thankfully, no stray surfers have a chance to crash into that eyesore as the tide ends up pulling it and the Precure away from the shore. They end up stranded on a deserted island as their magical inner tube that managed to somehow support the weight of a building sprung a leak somehow, and they didn't have any Kirakira left to fix it. You know, in hindsight, putting your bakery on top of a giant inner tube was kind of a bad idea. In order to replace their Kirakira reserves, they needed to make some new sweets to generate it. However, with almost no ingredients in their kitchen, they were forced to scavenge for some on the island. During their search, they discovered signs of somebody else being on the island. Believing that person could help them off it, Kian goes off alone to find them. Unfortunately, it turns out not to be Tom Hanks, but rather Bipley. Granted, at this point, she was even more pathetic than the guy who talked to a volleyball all day and thus posed even less of a threat than usual. Feeling bad for her, Kian decided to leave her alone. Meanwhile, Ichika and the others managed to find an ice cave in the middle of the island and decided to make some shaved ice out of it. Yeah, apparently of all the ingredients they have lying around, they just happen to have a good amount of shaved ice syrup lying around. That and frickin' chocolate pens. Also, yeah, I bought this for my next cooking video. With their Kirakira problem solved, Shiel decided to show pity towards Bipley and share the shaved ice penguin treat with her. Unfortunately, again, this doesn't work out so well. As we learn through her backstory, Bipley was an orphan pulled off the streets by Noir. Yeah, nothing creepy about a guy in a weird mask walking up to a little girl and telling her how much he loves her. Call the police! But yeah, for whatever reason, Bipley was forced to live a lonely life on the streets, with the only salvation from that coming in the form of Noir. Thus, she can't recognize when someone other than Noir exhibits honest concern and goodwill towards her, and only sees how much more fortunate that person is than her. It's as if she's still walking that lonely little street in the rain. This anger briefly reactivates Il, and desperate to get her damaged doll to work, she uses the Shiji Ikari method to wake it up. Yeah, I'm sure this won't lead to anything bad happening. Sure enough, Il is afflicted with confusion, but rather than hurting itself, it instead turns on its master. Luckily, in spite of everything she said to her, Shiel wasn't ready to give up on trying to help Bipley through her turmoil. The rest of the Precure join in to help, and the resulting battle is pretty great. Not so much for the action, though it is a bit above average this week, but more for the interactions between Shiel and Bipley, as it's made perfectly clear in spite of everything they've been through, Shiel is willing to put all that behind her and help Bipley through this rough patch in her life. Because she, more than anyone else, doesn't want to see another person suffer from the endless pain that comes from being alone. She purifies Il and again offers the shaved ice to Bipley, who again has Il absorb it, but doesn't turn it against the Precure. Half the villains of the season are just tsundere, aren't they? With that, the episode ends with the Precure stealing an idea from Pixar to head home, and Shiel pulling out a little trinket created from her orb after she nearly befriended Bipley. Where Akira and Yukari's trinkets are remains to be seen. Some idiot plot elements aside, this was actually another pretty nice and touching episode. As underwhelming as she was as a villain, Bipley is still a fun character in my opinion, and getting to learn more about her backstory makes her all the more enjoyable. And while gradual, she has been receiving some of the more distinct character development through the season. And of course, it'd be a problem if only the villains were getting character development, so we also got some for Shiel, who clearly still has her brother on her mind, but is using that towards some more positive outlets. Here's hoping we get to see more of these two together in the near future. If you haven't seen it yet, I just posted up the final part of my hard catch Precure review yesterday. It's a lengthy video that took me a little longer to edit together than I expected, sorry about that. But now that it's done, I can move on to my next cooking video, which yeah, just so happens to be a sweet similar to what they made in this episode. Interesting how things work out like that. Look forward to it, and until then, farewell for now my friends and... Haruka-san, what are you doing here? Uh-oh. Run for the hills, everyone!